Hi, this is Celeste with the Celestial Report Breaking News. I am the 1880s pioneer woman fighting the 21st century battle, and I've got something from Homeland Security, which I know that you've never seen, but it is one of my sources. So I am going to share screen because I think you might be interested in some of these. Let's make sure I get the right one. So this is commonly or fondly known as the HDIAC. There is going to be, this is hosted by Homeland Security, a mixed hazardous waste consequence management event, real time tabletop exercise. And as a certified exercise designer, I can tell you, and also participant, I can tell you that in almost all exercises, not so much tabletops, but um, real life exercises, they almost always go live in one component or another. On very rare occasion do they not go live. So that's pretty interesting. So we need to keep an eye on that, and that will be covering CBRN, the whole spectrum of CBRN: chemical, biological, radiological, nuclear, and of course, they've left off the E, but the E is the wild card. It can mean economic, which is in play, environment, which is in play, explosive, which is in play. It's any word that begins with an E that could be a hazard to you and I. So there's that, but that's not what I wanted. Here is this webinar on the food supply. I wanted you to see, here's micro radiation emergency medicine called micro REM. I want you to be aware of that because they are beginning to put radioactive isotopes and contaminants in everything from these weaponized bugs that I'm talking about to microbes to medicines and pharmaceuticals. They are starting to put radiation in them. And you go, oh, I've never heard of such a thing before. I can tell you that probably 95% or more of you are exposed to radiation right now. Where are you getting that radiation? And I'm not talking from the sun. And I'm not talking a nuclear plant either. I'm talking about when you have a smoke detector in your house, those smoke detectors have two types of radioactive isotopes: americanium and californium. Don't believe me? Look it up yourself and you will find that it's true. And now they're putting it in medicine. I think that's really important because you might get radiation sickness from whatever you're consuming or taking, might even be what you're inhaling as well. So it's something we're going to have to keep an eye on, uh, as if we don't have enough to keep our eye on. There were some more. Oh, yes. I'm not sure I can get it. Oh, I can get it bigger. So DHS just is announcing the results of their 2022 biometric technology rally. So basically, this is like a grand challenges that Bill Gates started, where they were trying, entrepreneurs, innovators were trying all these different things, um, for biometrics to get us into the biometric system. And you wouldn't believe, I saw a report last week on just what they're doing with the biometrics. Stay away from it. I mean, that's all I can say. EPA takes action to improve cybersecurity resilience for public water systems. That's what all these chemical releases, whether they be train or whatever, is all about. The grab is on for your water, and you might as well be prepared because water is not going to be something that you can just go to your faucet in the future. It's going to be a battleground like everything else. And there's micro batteries. Um, BARDA was very instrumental in the COVID. So I just wanted you to know that there's action on the approval, licensure, and clearance for medical countermeasures. So see, these are some of the things that I see on a daily basis that I scan and bring to you so that you don't need to do all the heavy lifting. And I probably bring some things that are important and applicable and relevant to your life, and maybe some things you can just say, well, that doesn't pertain to me. Um, Protect and defend valuable assets. And I can tell you that you're not considered a valuable asset. Um, with permanent structures and technologies. I know once my husband, we lived up in the Hdiac in Montana, which is up near the Canadian border, and it was before we were together. And he took a nice Sunday walk and he ended up going into Canada and he didn't know, but it had an electronic laser some type of electronic line. And he was met when he came back into the States and grilled for about 2 hours by the Border Patrol. What was he doing in Canada? How long was he in Canada? And of course, he didn't have, of course, that was the day before passports. So, anyway, there are these technologies that will protect and defend valuable assets. And then NIST, many of you might not know, but NIST is like makes the standards for technology that kind of says, okay, this is what a laptop will do, this is what a cell phone will do. Um, Many types. If it deals with technology, the standard, the I don't know if it's an agency or what it is, or an institute, National Institute of Standardization Technology. Um, it's the one that makes the rules or the standards. So I just wanted you to see. I mean, I have sometimes can get into my Homeland Hdiac. Um, Here are all. It's very interesting too. They go in. They have specialty where you can look at articles on special projects. That's where I found out about the tardigrades, the little water bears. But anyway, alternative energy, biometrics, Seaburn. Boy, they've dropped that E. You know why they've dropped the E? Because it is operational. That's why they dropped the E. Critical infrastructure, cultural studies. That's very interesting. I've been watching that for years now. Homeland Security, as in the agency, medical. I was watching that, especially during the whole COVID debacle, and of course, weapons of mass destruction. So I just wanted you to see some of the things that I see and um, maybe some of those things you might be interested in or not. If you have questions about any of them and you want me to dig into details, realizing that I have limited time, I would be happy to do that. Or if you have general questions about HDIAC, just leave your comments below. And we will see you next time on the Celestial Report Breaking News.